Hello and a warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV News Cycle in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. President Bola Tinubu has described his meeting with British monarch King Charles III as significant. The duo met in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, UAE, on the eve of the ongoing 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference, also known as Conference of the Parties, COP28. In a tweet on his verified X handle, the president described the parley as a significant step towards strengthening the Nigerian-United Kingdom relationships and partnership. The president expressed optimism that the contributions of both Nigeria and the United Kingdom, UK, will impact positively on the world's future in the efforts to set equitable global environmental standards. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, appeared before lawmakers in the National Assembly and defended the over 61 billion naira FCT 2023 supplementary budget. The minister said the budget is targeted at completion of some critical projects before President Tinubu's 1 year in office, adding that the budget revenue sources will be inflows from Pari Club refund, payee tax liabilities, special intervention funds, internally generated revenue, and the infrastructure support fund. Wike identified orders to include rehabilitation of National Christian Center and the rehabilitation of National Mosque in Abuja and many others. Members of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly on Friday unanimously elected Danladi Jatto, representing Kokona West constituency, as Speaker of the House. Similarly, the position of the Deputy Speaker went to Mohammed Oyanki, member representing Doma North constituency. The newly occupied positions followed Tuesday's sack of the former Speaker Ibrahim Abdullahi at the appeal court sitting in Abuja. The federal government announced that a new minimum wage regime would come into effect on April 1st, 2024. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Idris Mohammed, made this announcement saying that the current 30,000 naira minimum wage would expire at the end of March 2024. Mohammed further disclosed that the committee is being constituted and the federal government is talking to Labour about it. He added that by the time this current wage regime expires by the end of March, Nigerian workers should expect that a new wage will kick off by April. President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday presented a budget of 27.5 trillion to a joint session of the National Assembly in the nation's capital, calling it a budget of renewed hope. Sharon Ajay reports that in the days following, Nigerians are already reacting to the development, expressing concerns and expectations regarding the fiscal proposal.
Adedamola Onyekunle makes a case for the need to ensure that necessary measures are taken and structures put in place to guarantee effective implementation, adding that beyond the budgeted amount, government under the leadership of President Tinubu should ensure that its execution impacts citizens in ways that are positive.
First of all, it's very important to note that it's heartwarming to understand that the president is putting more money into, different strategic sector of governance, security, education, health, and host of others. Yeah, but the previous government also has put money in. Put a lot of money, invest a lot of money in all of this sector. The question now is, what are the systems in place? I, for one, know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a man of systems. So I'm quite sure, one way or the other, he will try to put system in place to monitor the investment that is going into security, going into education, going into health, and also other sectors of the economic system.
Applauding the increase in the overall size of the budget, Yinka Amusa called for higher budgetary allocation in the agriculture sector in light of food security and inflation.
Just that I'm an agriculturist, and I would love that agriculture take larger part, or even the largest, because Nigeria is blessed, and everybody is shouting of no food because of the cost of food is high. So everyone, we need to pump money into our agriculture so that Nigeria can have food security. So I believe that the budget will speak well for us.
This respondent urges the federal government to prioritize fair and equitable distribution.
The only thing is that the people in charge, if they can use the money the same way that the directive from the Mr. President, I think it will go a long way to help our school children. I think it will go a long way.
Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri has ordered investigation into the distribution of palliatives with a view to bring into book culprits who diverted food items. Diri gave the directive at the State Executive Council meeting in the Government House, Yenagoa, following complaints that some individuals diverted the items meant for each ward in the state. The state government had procured more food items in addition to the 5 trucks of rice allotted to each state by the federal government as part of the measures to cushion the effect of the removal of petrol subsidy on people of the state. Diri urged politicians to be selfless in their conduct and not withhold what is meant for people at the grassroots. The Jigawa state government has approved the recruitment of 1,124 health workers previously engaged as casual workers under its J Health program. This is contained in a statement by the Commissioner for Information, Youth, Sport and Culture, Alhaji Sage Musa, on Friday in Duse. According to Musa, the State Executive Council approved the exercise during its meeting, adding that the approval is in line with the Governor Umar Namadi administration's commitment to enhance access to affordable healthcare services across the state. Anambra State government has commenced training for its task force team to monitor hospitals to curb operations of quack doctors in the state. The 3-day training was organized by the State Ministry of Health in collaboration with the National Agency for the Control of AIDS under the Resilient and Sustainable System for Health initiative of the state government. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Afam Obidike, at the opening of the training yesterday in Oka, said the many hospitals in the rural areas are run by quacks and secondary school dropouts, adding that the need to improve healthcare service delivery in both public and private health facilities, as well as to protect the health of residents. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has prohibited the use of travel sacks, Ghana must go, by passengers at all the nation's airports. According to a circular by FAN titled Re-Prohibition of Usage of Ghana Must Go, signed by Manager, Airport Services Henok Gizashiu, noted that the ban is particularly for passengers traveling through the country's international airports. Gizashiu stated that the sack was banned by the authority because it has cost the airlines huge loss and also damaged the airport's conveyor belt system. He further noted that passengers who wish to use Ghana Must Go to travel must have the same well package in carton or hardcover of rectangular size. The Nigerian Air Force, NAF, has announced that its Mi-35P helicopter has crashed in Port Harcourt shortly after takeoff. The crash occurred at about 7:45 a.m. shortly after the aircraft took off for an operation against economic saboteurs in Rivers. A statement by the Nigerian Air Force Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Edward Gabquet, on Friday in Abuja said 5 crew members were aboard the helicopter, adding that all the 5 survived with minor injuries, were being treated at the Nigerian Air Force Medical Center in Port Harcourt. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, is currently en route to Port Harcourt to assess the situation, see to the well-being of the crew, and give further directives. And over 1.6 million Nigerians are living with HIV, according to a 2022 report from the National Agency for Control of AIDS. In commemoration of the World AIDS Day, the agency held a road show to create awareness and sensitize citizens on the prevalence of the disease in the country. Global TV correspondent Subra Usman tells us more.
The Director General of the National Agency for the Control of AIDS, Dr. Gambo Aliyu, called on community leaders to help in eradicating HIV amongst children. He said the government agency is confident to end HIV/AIDS on or before 2030, as he revealed that the agency is providing HIV treatments and tests to Nigerians nationwide.
Every leader in a community should take that as priority to make sure no child in our communities are born with HIV. And we are confident before 2030 we will eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV with the support of our communities. We are providing free HIV tests. If you don't know your status, come and know your status free. And we are providing free HIV treatment all over the country. All you need to do is to demand for this service.
Chairman of the World AIDS Day Committee, Yinka Falola, called on Nigerians, healthcare stakeholders, and community leaders to collaborate in ending the scourge of HIV/AIDS. She urged the public to take preventive measures in order to reduce the spread of HIVs.
Community leaders, religious leaders, parents, young people, different civil society leaders, they also need to play that key to ensure that we end it. And particularly for young people who are still on reproductive health, who are giving birth, to get supported, both the female and the male, the partners, to support their spouses, their partners when they are bringing forth children.
The World AIDS Day Roadwork Show was conducted to enlighten Nigerians on healthcare measures to swiftly end HIV/AIDS in the country. Swabra Usman, Global Television News, Abuja.
The National Identity Management Commission said it is prepared to work with state government to build accurate and reliable databases to ensure that the subnationals make adequate provisions for the needs of the people. The Director General of NIMC, Abisoye Koka-Odushote, made this when he received the General Manager of the Lagos State Resident Registration Agency, Biliki Sadebi Abiola, at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. Koka-Odushote, in a statement signed by her Special Advisor in Media and Communications, Ayodele Babalola, on Thursday, stated that the collaboration would make it easy for states to use NIMC's database to improve service delivery and policy formulation. And in a bid to create introspective analysis of the growth of pathology service in Africa, pathologists from across Africa converge in Abuja for a conference that looks to explore latest trends in modern pathology practice. Global TV's Fawzia Lukman brings the report.
As pathology is the science of the causes and effects of diseases, especially the branch of medicine that deals with the laboratory examination of samples of body tissues for diagnostics and forensic purposes, pathologists drawn from across Africa seeking how to, among other things, make the most of latest technology in the area of personalized cancer care. But cancer treatment is one small aspect of pathology, as Minister of Health says it's particularly crucial that the country goes much further to look at the area of forensics and autopsy in solving crimes, and says the Ministry of Health is open to collaborating with the police to make it possible. Chief Medical Director of Federal Medical Center Abuja, Saad Ahmed, says embracing the latest forensic technology will be a huge milestone in the administration of justice in the country.
At the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, Faculty of Pathology, we have actually established and is the first subspecialty training in forensic pathology.
Poverty and less than adequate willpower by African government, a cross-section of the pathologists at the conference says, is responsible for the poor state of pathology on the continent, with Africa having a lot of catching up to do.
When we say cancer, people think that cancer is a single disease. It's not. Even if you take cancer of the breast, there are so many types of cancer. And even the same type, when two different people live differently. And that is why we talk about personalized treatments.
The main issue in our practice is that we don't have all the techniques, the modern techniques to explain, to make diagnosis of disease and also to explain causes of death.
Nigeria's health ministry says it looks forward to collaborating with the police to develop forensic technology to the point of solving crimes in line with global best practices. Fauziya Lukman, Global TV News.
The Nigerian Senate has strongly condemned all forms of violence against women and girls, emphasizing the need for more robust measures to safeguard their interests. This position was articulated during Thursday's plenary, where the senators actively participated in the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence on women and the girl child. We bring you the report. Take a listen. Adorning orange sashes as a symbol of solidarity for the advocacy, the lawmakers, including the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, were united in their commitment to address this critical issue. The advocacy motion was sponsored by 17 senators, spearheaded by Senator Ireti Kingigbe, representing the FCT.
Since the launch of the National Gender-Based Data Room and Dashboard, over 28,000 cases of gender-based violence have been reported nationwide. In all these reported cases, over 9,000 have been opened against offenders.
Voicing their support to the motion, Senator Adams Oshiomhole, Natasha Akpoti, and Abdul Ningi, among others, acknowledged the virtues and sacrifices made by women globally, with a specific emphasis on those in Nigeria.
As politicians, we also know that most of us in this room, about 70 to 60% of those who voted for us are women. The men can collect the money and take per one on an election day, while you see the women queuing under sun and rain with children on their back to vote so that we can be in these chambers. I think we just be doing justice to the foundation of our own, of our system.
Nigerian women, just like women across Africa and the world, have suffered greatly, not only in the hands of our fellow men, but sometimes even women, sometimes even in organizations where we work. And therefore, I'd lend my voice in calling for a stop in all form of violence against girls.
It is always important. It takes two to tango. The women folk also must at every given time know their position in society. You men, as they listen, to also rise to the occasion. They are human beings like every other of us.
In concluding the debate, before the motion was passed, the Senate President declared all the senators are all in agreement that violence against women and the girl child must be unequivocally condemned.
I also want to plead with women that as we are supporting them, the entire chambers is yellow in support of women and the girl child, that we abhor violence against women in all ramifications, that women should also try not to violate the rights of men.
For Global TV, Queen Agaba reporting. In the early hours of today, Friday, 1st December 2023, gunmen attacked the residence of the resident electoral commissioner in Lokoja, Kogi State. The armed men engaged the security personnel in a gun battle for over 30 minutes until reinforcement arrived. While no lives were lost, property were destroyed in the ensuing gun battle. A team of combined security personnel have been deployed to protect the residents. This incident occurred a day after a mob besieged the state's office. You're watching Global TV News Cycle, coming to you from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the news cycle returns, FG committed to LGA's financial autonomy minister. And that's on business news, and the news continues shortly with details of this and other stories right after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcasts of the news cycle from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. The federal government says it is committed to ensuring that local government areas are given financial autonomy as part of measures to ensure effective governance at the grassroots. The Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Zephaniah Jisalo, stated this at the close of a two-day conference of functionaries and key actors in the local government administration, further noting that the local government is a very important tier of governance that cannot be overlooked, and that if the government gets it right at that level, it will reflect positively on the state and federal tiers of government. Jisalo added that corruption, political interference, and lack of capacity among local government officials are major setbacks for development at the local level. OPEC Plus has lowered Nigeria's oil production target for 2024 to 1.5 million barrels per day, BPD, from its previous target of 1.74 million barrels per day. The move comes as the group of oil-producing countries seeks to manage supply and demand in the global oil market. Nigeria, Africa's largest oil producer, has struggled to meet its production quotas in recent years due to underinvestment and security issues. However, the country's output has picked up in recent months, helped by more production offshore. The new production targets are subject to revision at the next OPEC Plus meeting, which is scheduled for December. Nigeria could potentially reach 1.5 million barrels per day in crude output next year without any significant disruptions. Yet, achieving this seems unlikely due to the maturity and decline of most of Nigeria's oil fields. The British Deputy Prime Minister, Oliver Dowden, and Nigeria's Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Oladele Alake, has engaged a comprehensive investment package comprising of lithium value chain in London. Hosting the meeting, Dowden said he chairs the British National Economic Security Council, which is interested in partnering with Nigeria on energy minerals such as lithium, adding that the meeting was to kick off discussion between both countries and that officials of the Department of Trade and investors will sit down to work out the details of the partnership. Dowden urged the Solid Minerals Minister to convey his pleasure to welcome President Tinubu to the African Summit scheduled to take place next year. Delta State Governor Sheriff Oberevori has lauded Heritage Energy Operational Services Limited, operator of the OML 30 joint ventures partners, and the Community Development Board, CBD, over several projects executed in communities in the state. Oberevori spoke during the first anniversary ceremony of the OML 30 CDB in Ughelli, Delta State, after the commissioning of the completed project and inspection of ongoing ones across the clusters that make up the OML 30 oil block. The governor commended HEOSL operator of the OML 30. The joint venture partners the Community Development Board, CBD, for the number and quality of projects completed as the board marks 1 year in office. And on the foreign scene, the government of the Republic of Zambia has urged African heads of state, ministers of health, and leading scientists, innovators and researchers, among others, to implement decisions and policies towards safeguarding public health in Africa and beyond. The acting president of the Republic of Zambia, Mutale Nalumango, said this at the closing ceremony of the 3rd International Conference on Public Health in Africa in Lusaka, Zambia. Nalumango, who is the vice president of Zambia, noted that though Africa's public health challenges are many and diverse, there's an opportunity for innovation, collaboration, and change. South Korea will launch its first military spy satellite early Saturday on SpaceX rocket. Seoul's Defense Ministry stated that, identifying its space race on the peninsula after Pyongyang launched its first military eye in the sky last month. Seoul's reconnaissance satellite, carried by one of Elon Musk's SpaceX Falcon 9 rockets, will lift off from the Vandenberg U.S. Space Force base in California at 0319 Seoul time GMT 1819. SpaceX released a photo of its Falcon 9 rocket erected vertically on the launch pad with the letters Korea emblazoned across it. If it is successfully put into orbit, South Korea would have acquired its first domestically built spy satellite to monitor nuclear-armed North Korea. And in sports, Nigeria's Super Falcons moved a step closer to securing their place at the 2024 Women Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON, in Morocco with a 5-0 thrashing of their Cape Verdean counterparts at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. Uchenna Kanu and Esther Okoronkwo both scored braces to help 9 times African champions Wallop their visitors in the second round of the WAFCON qualifiers to all but ensure they will qualify for 2024 Continental Soccer Showpiece. Both teams will clash in the second leg or in Praia, capital of Cape Verde, on Tuesday, 5th December. And that's it on Global TV News Cycle. Don't forget, we're on Star Times, channels 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.